Baseball is the epitome of the top sports in the US that just can't get out of its own fucking way. That's really what it is, right? Like the NBA does such a great job marketing their product. They're top players. There is no such thing as blackouts. They're on national TV. They get their superstars in front of the cameras because that's what draws fans. And there's a reason that they're the second highest grossing league from a dollars and cents standpoint of the major sports in the United States, only behind the NFL, which obviously is a marketing and media conglomerate in its own right. But even like the NHL is starting to figure it out. And that was a league that I bashed for years. I've been a hockey fan for long enough to bash that league and Gary Bettman about what they do with hockey. And yet hockey is growing in popularity. Baseball is the epitome of it's America's pastime, but you wouldn't fucking know it because they black out half the country and then they can't get Hall of Fame voting, right? Because God forbid that these, old white men can't get off their fucking high horse with their voting. And, it's an exclusive club. Yeah, you guys voted in guys that if they played in today's era from the 1930s would be like me going up to bat and trying to hit a home run. You know what I mean? I probably had more power than some of the guys that played in the 20s.
And I'm so tired of seeing all these people's tweets about, here's my Hall of Fame ballot. And it's just like,
yeah, nobody. It's no names.
One guy today voted so only Gary Sheffield.
I saw
and then
that.
you know what his quote was? You know what his comment was? If you let me look. Oh man, I don't want to. Hang on, just give me just one. Oh my God!
Like rev everybody's tempers up.
But it's true though, because the Hall of Fame really
against a wall when I read this.
It's become the Hall of Very Good, right? And to build on that before Tyler pulls this up, I think that it should come down to a computer program now. There, at least type in like stats to hit in the Hall of Fame, and then have it be AI generated to where you're a Hall of Famer or no you're not. That's the easiest way to do it without bias.
This guy, and he's on FS1. He had a voted solely for Gary Sheffield. His comment, he was talking about everything. And one of his tweets he commented was, and I quote, "If there's a debate about your career, you aren't a Hall of Famer."
Come on.
And then strictly voted for just Gary Sheffield. And then proceeds to talk just about how it's almost like he talks about how the Hall of Fame's broken. He talks about it's crazy how somebody that just got 10% of the vote last year and now has 76%. And it's like, dude, okay, let's back up for a second.
And you're part of the problem.
Yeah, that's what I told him. I was like, you are part of the problem. Like we could go on for like hours about this, but it's just like, no disrespect to Gary Sheffield. No. Respectable career. You know what? If you want to put him in the Hall of Fame, that's fine. But like, why? Just like it makes no sense. And it really does.
It's one of those things, like Juice said, right, where there's so much bias in this voting. Yes. I don't see this problem in any other sport.
No,
right? Like there's guys that maybe take longer, like in the NFL, right, to get in than they maybe should, and things like that, and what have you. But like they get it right. Like you see the class, and you're like, hell yeah, that guy should be in the Hall of Fame. Man. Like right now. Chicago Bears fans, right? We're all sitting here clamoring for Devin Hester to be a Hall of Famer. And I see the debates on Twitter, and I've gotten into it with a couple people on Twitter. We only played 1/3 of the game. Guess what? Every motherfucker only plays 1/3 of the game. That's how football works. He was the best to ever do it at what he did, right?
Change the game.
If you change the game, you should be in. Yeah. How many of these guys that are on the ballot, no offense to Scott Rowland, great ball player, but holy shit, like most of the guys on the list had better careers than him.
I'm just
go ahead, Tyler.
I'm just so tired of this. Like, it's just the ongoing thing about he doesn't fit the character clause. Like, I'm sorry, kiss my ass with that character clause bullshit. Because there's so many. I could go forever just about like these old people's. They're heroes that they had. It's like, I'm sorry, but these people that you thought were heroes, a lot of these people, Ty Cobb was a piece of shit. If you really go back and look at it, But like you could say the same thing about Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, who, by the way, in 1961, fun fact, 1961, you know why he dropped out of the home run race? He had an infection from what? A steroid shot. And then just to talk about just all these guys taking greenies, admittedly, just it just pisses you off thinking about it. You could go, like we could go for hours about this, but it's bullshit.
What it
bullshit.
is in one summed up term, it's hypocrisy.
Yeah,
it is.
That's what it is. It's hypocrisy of the voting committees. Like you said, oh, well, these greats from the olden days would never condone this, yet none of them were any better than the guys getting
it's just that whole mentality of back in my day. You know,
when I was a boy.
Yes. Yeah.
We
did it on milk and eggs and
I just laugh.
Hard work.
Well, because let's be honest here. Would Babe Ruth be able to hit a Aroldis Chapman?
No.
Did Babe Ruth ever see 104?
No. Babe Ruth was playing against Billy Frick that, when he got done, he went to the coal miner's shop to go back to work after his game.
He was playing against guys like us. Let's just call it what it is, man. Like, what did Mark Gray say at the Cubs Con? Perfect example, right? He said, he was like, when I played, you could bum a cigarette or chew off a guy. Now, he made the joke, right, with today's players. Now you guys are bumming carrot sticks and kale shakes off each other, and then Ian Happ chimed in and was like, turmeric shots. Like, but that's what it is. That today's athletes are so different in terms of an elite standpoint, in terms of athleticism, than any of the guys that played in the day. Yes, were they great for their time period? Absolutely. Should they be in the Hall of Fame because of what they did in their time period? Absolutely. But don't shaft guys because they played in a time period that, because you're an old fuck and you believe in these stupid unwritten rules. They're unwritten for a fucking reason. Because they're not rules. Get off your high horse. And if you can't give the integrity to the voting that you need to just truly unbiased say, was this guy worthy of the Hall of Fame or not? You don't deserve a vote. You know who does? You know who should vote at this point? How about former players vote?
Yeah. No, I'd hate that too.
I
hate that too.
But
I'm sorry. I want to remove all bias out of it. Make it a computer program at this point.
And you know what? I could get behind that too, truthfully.
I mean, there's just so much.
To
Gary
me,
Sheffield, the guys. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, to me, if you're able to go on Baseball Reference and look up players, you should be able to do that and have that qualify for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Why not?
I respect that. Yeah.
If you don't meet X amount of players, you don't qualify. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, I dig that. I like that idea.
Go ahead, Tyler, though. I cut you off. I'm sorry, buddy.
It's just yesterday was just a reminder, I guess, back to what you were talking about, Lucy, just how it's just you think you take 2 steps forward, but you take 3 steps backwards at just seeing this shit. It's I don't know, maybe call me. I don't know. I don't know how you would fix it. Is there, I don't want to even want to ask this, as far as, is there too much focus on the numbers, whereas in basketball and in football, stats are important. They show that, but it's baseball, everything is about the numbers. I don't know. I don't know. It's just, God, it pisses you off. But after last year, because it's not a shocker or nothing. I'm a Bonds guy. I love Bonds. I'm a Sosa guy. I'm all those guys. Put them in. We could do an hour and a half show on just why those guys should be in. Sosa should be in. All of them. And just the stuff going back as far as Sosa, for example, failing his test was the same test that David Ortiz failed. It was an anonymous test that they all agreed to do. And it's if you fail, it's going to be okay. You're not going to get in trouble. And then it's we're not going to let you in, Sammy, because you look like you did it more and kept doing it or whatever. It just pisses you off thinking about it. It's the same reason with this guy from FS1 that voted just Gary Sheffield. He was he never received a suspension, and he just said that he took it unknowingly. He didn't know. So it's okay, maybe he didn't know, but so we're supposed to believe that, but we're not going to believe Barry Bonds thinking that he was taking flaxseed oil, which maybe he was, maybe he wasn't, probably whatever. But it's like it's exhausting, but it just at the same time, every time it comes up, it just pisses you off when you see it because it's like Jesus Christ, like you're just shitting on the sport. You know what I mean? Like you're just making it look bad because all these non-fans see this and like, wow, look at the clusterfuck they're in. Like, whoop, look at this shit show.
100%.
It just, yeah.
Yeah, and just really quick too, Josh Williams jumping back here in the comments says players are just as biased with unwritten rules. Look at some pitches when someone hits a home run and he's got the rolling eyes emoji. But I agree wholeheartedly. Look at what's going on with the Ronald Acuna stuff right now in the Venezuelan league, right?
Yeah.
He pimped that home run and he got excited about it, and I'm all for it. I fucking like when guys.
Yeah,
I'm one of the guys that I think the unwritten rules are bullshit. I'm all about, because here's the problem: the NFL got rid of a penalty preventing touchdown celebrations because they knew it was good for the game. Basketball allows guys to celebrate all the time because they know it's good for the game. Even the NHL now has guys starting to celebrate and do kind of funny things, and it's garnering attention because they know it's good for the game. But again, baseball cannot get out of its own fucking way and do what's good for the game because they would rather see it die than evolve and stay with the times and remain relevant because, again, baseball just cannot get out of its own fucking way, and I cannot stand it.